Welcome, I'm Tanya Fong. I'm one of the lead trainers here at the Australian Academy of Hypnosis. And today on this podcast, I'm joined by Sally Robson. Now, Sally Robson is another one of our advanced diploma graduates from the Australian Academy of Hypnosis. And she did her training a couple of years ago now. So she's been out there running her own clinic with clients for a couple of years now and doing really, really well and seeing phenomenal results in the people that she's helping. So we're going to have a talk to Sally today. She's on the line with me now, and she's going to share a little bit about some of the issues that she's been helping people with. And she's also going to share her very special passions. And I'm really excited to have her on the line today. So welcome, Sally. Thank you for agreeing to join me.
Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. So I thought what we'd start with today, Sally, is maybe some of the experiences you've had around hypnotherapy for yourself. What have you noticed in the ways that it's been able to help you?
So I really noticed how it's changed my mindset,
Okay.
particularly thought patterns, particularly how I react to situations. So it's really helped me to be less reactive and certainly change the repeated thought patterns in my head. A lot of us have those thought patterns, particularly women, but men as well.
Yep.
I'm not good enough. I don't love myself. I don't accept myself. So I've noticed a lot of that changing and being able to really believe in myself a lot more and love myself a lot more.
Yeah, awesome. So you had some real issues around that prior?
Um, I would say like most women, just not feeling enough,
Yep.
not feeling, enough self-love and enough self-acceptance. So just really tapping in and changing those repeated thought habits of I'm not enough and this isn't enough has certainly made a big difference in my life.
Yeah, cool. And we find that, don't we? Like most of us, most of the clients I see as well, it's an underlying niggling little negative pattern that's sitting in there. And it just affects you in so many ways in your life, whether you realize it's there or not.
Hmm.
Yep.
I think it's also just about enough is enough, and it's time. We all deserve to live our best life
Yeah.
and cut off these bad thought patterns. And it's not even because necessarily, not anything horribly traumatic has happened. Like I'm very lucky and very blessed, but it's just those repeated habits that we have going around in our head. And yeah, it's just really good to be able to change those thought patterns.
Yeah. Perfect. And how have you noticed that that's affected your life?
I think it's just the different thoughts that I have in my head now. And if something does happen or if I am triggered, I handle it completely differently.
Yep.
Um, and it's also even just how you respond to yourself when something happens, good and bad, and being able to celebrate the good times. But also being able to, okay, well, this has happened. I can react, A, B, and C, and just choosing what's actually the most appropriate or healthiest for everybody around.
Yep. And do you find by doing that, it just keeps you a lot calmer and just feeling a lot happier as you go through your life?
Definitely calmer and definitely happier because you don't have to be embarrassed by how you react or scared that you might say something or react out of anger. There's
Yep.
certainly that, not that I was ever a really angry person, but there's just an underlining calmness and a much more balanced person, I think.
Yeah, love it. And you went on to study hypnotherapy and also now you're practicing with your own business, and we'll talk about that shortly. But first off, I wanted to sort of talk to you about what were you doing prior to finding hypnotherapy? What were you doing out in the world?
Mhm. So I am a primary school teacher, or I was a primary school teacher. I have two children, and I personally couldn't get the work-life balance to work anymore.
Okay.
It just didn't work for me. I worked for a wonderful school. I actually still love teaching, loved my job, great kids, but just family work-life balance, just not couldn't get it to work. And then in 2020, I was working 1 day a week and COVID hit, obviously, in
Yep.
Victoria. Um, and I wasn't, had to work remotely sometimes. And I just, didn't love it anymore. And then in 2021, I decided it's time for a change. I still loved teaching, but it just wasn't working for me. So I quit my job at the end of 2020. And I spent 2021 deciding what am I going to do. And I know I wanted to help someone and do something a little bit, help people and do something alternative, but I wasn't sure what. So I actually did a holistic counseling diploma.
Okay.
And within that course, you did like 15 alternative therapy units. And one of them was hypnotherapy. And that was the one I most liked. So I decided, I think I'm going to do hypnosis now. And then I did my training and I really loved it. And yeah, so I've been practicing for 2 years.
Awesome.
And I absolutely love my work, love what I do, super passionate. Yeah, so I'm just growing my business and just love working with each and every client.
Yeah, sure. So it gave you that work-life balance that you were looking for.
Yeah, so I can work when the kids are at school, and I still obviously I work Monday late and into the evening. So that's my, appointments for people who are working full time.
Yep.
And it's just allowed me, I can work from home. And it's again, as you said, that work-life balance, and I get to help people. I'm still really passionate about working with kids, and I do offer kids hypnosis because that is still something I'm super passionate about, working in education for over 10 years.
Yep.
So yeah, that is something that I would like to get more into.
Yep.
Yeah, I do love that.
Okay. And so with your own family, have they experienced hypnotherapy from you?
Yes, I have worked with one of my children. One is still a little bit young, as you know, when we can do hypnosis on kids and it works.
Yep.
Yes, I have worked on one of my children and she really enjoys it. And I have worked with my husband, but he is, because obviously we're so close, and as you know, the closer we are to people, sometimes the harder it is to work with them.
Yep.
So he's not super into it, but he has let me have a play and a go.
Okay, awesome. And how old's your daughter?
She is going to be 10 very soon.
All right. And what sort of results were you looking for with her?
We just wanted to do a bit of developing strategies to allow some more calmness and just to know that she's safe, because after COVID, so many kids feel, but they're not safe and they don't know what to expect anymore.
Yep.
So we just did a bit of work about, having some faith in herself and faith in the universe and that everything's going to be okay.
Yeah, perfect. And she noticed a difference from that?
Yes, she did. And she enjoyed the experience.
Yeah, awesome. And your younger child is how old?
She is 7 and she'll be 8 soon. So she wants to have a go once she turns 8. Because as you know, we normally can start children's hypnosis when they're about 8 or so. So she's ready to have a go really soon.
Yeah, perfect. And then, of course, the way that children are done prior to the age of 8 is a lot of play, a lot of imagination and play, and all of that sort of stuff can remove lots of fears and do all those sort of things. So it's really neat to be able to work with children because their imaginations are just next level.
Yeah. And they just go along with you.
They do. They just follow you on the journey that you take them on, and they really enjoy it. It's really a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yep. And then when you spoke about like family, sometimes the closer they are to you, the harder they are to work with. It can go one of two ways. Sometimes our family is really, really open to us helping them. My kids are just, my goodness. Sometimes I feel like the full-time hypnotherapist in the house. Mom, I need help with this. Mom, I need help with that. Mom, can you hypnotize me for this? It's just insane. And then other times, like you said, you get too close and it's just too much of a connection there. So it very much depends on how your family responds to you doing that, I guess.
And I think as with each client will respond differently.
Yeah.
Due to so many circumstances. And as you said, it's the same for those close to us.
Yep, that's exactly right. And like I said, in my household, I try to get away from it.
You're like, I'm not working now.
Exactly. As soon as I'm not working, they grab me. Mum, can you hypnotize me? I've got money blocks. Mum, I've got this fear. It's like, oh, I said, in an hour. Just give me an hour. I need a break. Awesome, Sally. And so at the moment, you've got your own practice, your own clinic. Whereabouts are you working from at the moment?
So I'm in Maffra, which is in Gippsland, Victoria.
Yep.
So we're about 3 hours-ish from Melbourne.
Yep.
But I also do Zoom appointments. Honestly, I prefer to work in person, but I also love Zoom appointments, and I still find them extremely effective. I just love the one-to-one connection.
Yep.
But as I said, I do offer Zoom appointments. So I've got a little office just in, at the back of my house. And it's, beautifully set up, super comfy chair, blankets, pillows, all the good stuff.
Perfect.
And I normally work Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. But obviously, if someone wants to make an appointment, I try and squeeze them in. But I'm also looking up at setting up some group hypnosis classes, because that's where I also would love to head, is doing some, specialty group classes, for weight loss, sleep, money blocks like you were just talking about.
Yep.
And, and I also want to do an anxiety or a mindset one as well, just because I think the group classes are so great for those people who may not necessarily be able to afford the one-on-one sessions, or also just want to give it a try. But because with hypnosis, as you well know, some people are a little bit doubtful, a little bit not sure what it's all about, which is completely fair. Yep. And I think the group classes are a really good way for people to invest with that little bit of hesitation and really see what we can actually do.
Yeah. Yep. Totally agree. And the group sessions are just, I suppose, amazing to form those connections with people as well, for people to realize, hey, there's nothing wrong with me. I'm exactly like the person next to me. My brain just needs rewiring a little bit different.
Yeah. And realistically, all of us need help with rewiring our brains.
Correct.
It's certainly not anything to be ashamed about, or, I do self-hypnosis all the time. As you said, your kids, I'm like that to myself. Oh, I'm going to work on this. I'm going to work on this.
Yep.
And I just love it and think it's such a wonderful, gentle tool.
Yeah, that's right. And I mean, for myself and Paul, we've probably been doing self-hypnosis and hypnotizing each other for well over 10 years now. So we've been on this journey for quite a long time. And we are constantly rewiring, because now that we've got I call it a biohack, really. Now that we've got the biohack to be able to rewire so fast, we just don't put up with stuff in our lives anymore. It's like, no, I need to be hypnotized. Even my 20-year-old son is a clinical hypnotherapist. I will go to him and I'll say, son, I need to be hypnotized. I want to sort through this. So we're really lucky, aren't we, as clinical hypnotherapists, to have that biohack.
So lucky. And I just think, for particularly like our children, how lucky they're going to be walking into adulthood and being able to clear and shift so much already, that they're going to have a completely different adulthood, and, heading into their entire life with a completely different mindset than what we would have started with.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And we see so many teens and stuff at the moment, especially after COVID, like you were talking about earlier, where they've bottled so much stuff up over those lockdown periods. And now it's really starting to come out in various different ways. And also the vaping issue as well is such a huge issue that so many hypnotherapists are going to have to help with in the coming very soon. Actually, I'm getting more and more clients coming to me, young people going, I just need to get off the vapes. I can't do this anymore. I can't breathe. I can't function. I can't sleep. And so our young people, our own family members who get to be hypnotized by us so they don't have to continue to have these habits, like you said, have a massive, massive advantage. Yep.
And you're like me. I'm just so passionate, and I just want to help and, really work with these people, and let's give them the best chance of getting, the happiest and best life, particularly whilst they're young.
That's right. Yeah. And that's what this podcast is all about. It's about getting it out there so that people can realize, hey, hypnotherapy does actually help. It's not this woo-woo strange thing where we're going to make you bark like a dog, cluck like a chicken. It is actually going to help you to rewire your mind so that you can live your life a better way.
Yeah, and honestly, that's what I want to do. I just want to help you rewire your brain. I have no interest in any of the stage hypnotism. That's not me. That's not my thing. But if I can help you think about yourself differently, feel about yourself differently, I am so happy. That's my joy.
Yep. Yep. And so talk to me now, Sally, about, without breaking any confidentiality, and I don't want you to say any names of your clients, but I just want you to give the people who are listening to this podcast today a little bit of an idea of some of the issues that you're helping people work through.
Yeah. So when I actually first qualified, I actually worked with someone with a fear of needles. Like they had a terrible fear of needles. And I got them to the point that they could go get their needle. They could actually go through with it. So
Awesome.
they were so happy with that because they were to the point of even just ringing to make an appointment to get a needle. It was giving them a panic attack, like severe panic attack.
Yep.
So that was a wonderful result. You were mentioning the vaping before. I have had a client that specifically came to see me for the vaping for the
Yep.
reasons you were mentioning, and they are now vape free.
Well
I have
done.
a client come specifically to stop sugar. Um, Only sugar. They just didn't want to eat sugar anymore. And that was extremely successful. They are no longer consuming sugar because they had a problem in the workplace, lollies everywhere, bickies everywhere. And so they just wanted no more sugar, no more.
So it was
And
all
that,
sort of connected to weight loss and eating control and all of that sort of stuff.
yep. So that
Yep.
was really successful. I've had some success with anxiety, which I have so many clients inquire about, and I'm like, hypnosis is fabulous for anxiety. And yes, I've had some success with that. I've had some success with pain in terms of chronic pain related to chronic illnesses. So I've had some good success with that. And also what I have had some success with clients with is they come and see me for something. So, for example, it may be weight loss. And then I help them to shift their energy around so that, it might be something like they get a new boyfriend, they get a new job, they get a new house. So I help them to invite into their life what they really deep down want.
Yep.
Um, and allow the room for, that new job, that new partner, that new house. And just because we clear all of the gunk, for lack of a better word, or clear all of the stuck energy,
Yep.
they can actually attract into their life what they actually deep down want, which is, that's my jam, that's my passion, that's what I love.
Yeah,
Clear all,
so cool.
and let's attract what you actually want into your life. Because yeah, my goal, as I said, I just want people to live their best life and get excited about their life.
Yep. And do you find that when you talk about you help people to attract what they really want, do you find what they're attracting is actually what they don't want, but they don't realize they're doing that?
Yeah. And a lot of people, as you would know, they get stuck in the cycle.
Yep.
The cycle of, well, how am I going to change? I don't know what to do to change. I can't change. And that's where I guess we come in and hang on, no, we're not doing that. We're not putting up with that. You deserve to be happy. Let's get
Yep.
you excited about your life. And whatever that may be, because obviously each person is different. And sometimes they don't even know that they're unhappy in their job, or they're unhappy, in their house, or that they want a partner. Like they might not have been able to identify that themselves, but, they'll message me a couple of weeks, couple of months later and be like, oh, I'm just updating you. And I absolutely love hearing these updates.
Yep.
Yeah, so I agree. Sometimes they don't know what they're missing or what's making them unhappy, which is completely fair because it's happened to me previously as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that gives me so much joy. I love it.
Yep. Because when you live out your normal patterns, whether they're right, whether they're wrong, whether they're negative, whether they're positive, they're your normal patterns. And so that's how you function in your day-to-day life. And most people are going about functioning on autopilot, we call it.
Yeah, and we're almost like the breaker. We come in, we break that pattern, we allow them to form that new pattern, whatever it may be, and then we can send them away, not just leave them floundering, send them away with, okay, if this happens, I can do this. If this happens, I can do this. Instead of just, oh, well, stop doing that.
Yeah,
because
that's
nobody that's you know, that's impossible.
yeah, that's right. And the other amazing thing about hypnotherapy is we don't need to know a lot about what's happened to them in the past.
No, I always say, you know, you can share with me as much or as little as you want. You don't have to come in and tell me your deepest, darkest secrets. If they feel the need to, I am more than happy to listen, obviously. But you don't need to tell me everything
No.
at all. And I can still help you. I can still help you to clear it. I can still help you to rewire those brain patterns. That's easy. Just get in the room with me.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So, one, you don't need to know exactly what it is that you need to change.
Mm-mm.
Two, you pretty much just need to know, how am I feeling now and how do I want to feel?
Yep.
And three, you don't have to divulge anything or much to us, because your brain knows what's happened to you and it knows exactly how to fix it.
Yep. And I often find, like, sometimes after you do a session, the client will be like, "Oh, I didn't realize I thought that or I felt that. And I didn't realize it was so deep embedded in my body." And my theory is always, well, from today onwards, we're doing it differently.
Yeah, that's right. And so, as a clinical hypnotherapist, you don't have to be a counselor, do you?
No, no.
And that's what's so amazing. You learn a set of skills to be able to hypnotize someone safely and effectively. And then through that process, their own brain makes the changes that need to be made.
Hmm.
Like you said, we're the circuit breaker in the middle that are helping them make those changes they need to. And do you find when people realize and you empower them that they're actually making those changes, not us? We're just facilitating the whole process, that people just respond really, really well to that.
I've had clients, you know, thank me and say, you know, I've completely changed how they think and feel. And I just say, it's not me. You're doing all the work.
Yep.
Yeah, we've had a session, but you chose to come here. You chose to let me to help you. And that's what I want to do. I love it. I'm
Yeah.
like, no, it's all on you.
Yeah. Perfect. So your biggest passion is around helping people live happier lives.
Yeah. I
Yep.
just want people to be excited about their own lives. And I really want them to know that they deserve it.
Yep.
Nobody deserves to be in pain. Nobody deserves to be in misery, whatever that is for each person. You know, it could be anxiety, it could be sabotaging yourself. Whatever it is, I just want you to be excited about your life and I want you to know that you deserve it.
Yep.
Because so many of us have that feeling of not being enough.
Yep.
And I don't want it. I think particularly for the children, teenagers, like you were talking about before, let's set them up for the best possible life.
That's it. They've got so much ahead of them, so much exciting stuff, and they get stuck in their head in these negative patterns, and they don't realize that a few sessions they'll be out of it and they'll be flying.
Yeah. And it's such a gentle therapy. That's what I really want people to know. It's not scary, but I understand it's scary coming to someone you don't necessarily know, scary coming and handing over your subconscious. I get that. But my thing is, I just want you to be happy. I want you to live your best life. And I will never, ever do anything detrimental. And I know you're exactly the same.
Yeah.
It's just such a gentle, beautiful therapy.
Yep. And I think at the end of the day, when you're going through the clinical hypnotherapy process, when your client's going through it, that because we're not there to do the funny stuff, that's not what those sessions are about, then
Mhm.
their brain chooses whether it's going to accept or reject the suggestions we're giving anyway.
Exactly. And by the time a client actually gets in my door, they just want help.
Yep.
As you well know, if we can just get them in the door, our job's half done.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And they don't realize that the thousands and thousands and thousands they've spent on treatment before can be
Mm.
resolved really quite quickly for a minimal amount of money.
Yeah. And I don't know about you, but I find the sessions sometimes are quite fun.
Oh, I love it. I wouldn't do it if I didn't.
Exactly. Like I love every session. I love that it's different. I love that I get to be creative. I love that I can just, I love the problem solving of it, because each client and problem is different and thinking, oh, how am I going to tackle this? And how am I going to tackle this? And, I love that creative fun aspect of it.
Yep. And chatting away to the subconscious mind as well. I mean, that's just so exciting. It's like you've got another person sitting in that chair with you. It's very cool.
And they're always so honest, aren't they?
Very much so. And sometimes stubborn.
Yes, I was going to say, sometimes they're like, no, and I'm like, okay, we need a different angle.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And sometimes all it is just the subconscious mind, because it is so highly intelligent, so clever. Sometimes it just needs, it's got the protection walls up and it's meant to. It's there to protect the person. So sometimes it just needs a little bit more information so that it can make a decision of, oh, okay, I get what she's saying here. I think I will take that on board and I'll make that change.
Yep. And that's where we come in, because we just have to either phrase it differently, present it differently, and that's our fun, oh, okay, how can I do this? And
Yeah, that's exactly right. So with your online sessions, you're going worldwide with all of that, I'm assuming?
I would happily offer to anybody who would love to attend.
Yeah, perfect. So explain to everybody on the call at the moment how effective hypnotherapy, clinical hypnotherapy is online.
It's extremely effective. There's been a lot of studies. There's been a lot of evidence. I think also that you have the joy that you get to be comfortable and in your safe place physically. Yep. Like, don't get me wrong, my office is very safe, but I understand there are people who do have that social anxiety, that going out and meeting a group of people is just way too hard. I completely get it.
Yep.
You can literally sit in your bed with your laptop and I will do the session and join you in your bedroom. You can be in your PJs, have your warm cup of tea next to you, and do the session and they can go to bed. So I think in terms of convenience, I think also taking into account that how hard times are for some people at the moment, it is cheaper doing a group session. And you can still get the wonderful benefits. You also have the energy from the other people in the group that, boosts you. And even online, that will still be effective.
That's right.
And you'll still have that, for example, if I'm doing a quitting smoking session, all of the people in that group have that energy going into each other. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. So, the benefits of the Zoom are so massive. And my theory is I want to help as many people as I can. And I know you're exactly the same. And if that's through group hypnosis, if that's how I get you in, I'm welcoming you with open arms. And I would love to see you in my groups. And I also think with the group session, it can still be fun. And yeah, we do deal with some serious issues. Don't get me wrong, I'm not downplaying them, but we can have fun while we're clearing our stuff and shifting our energy. And please, if anyone wants to join me, please do.
Yeah, that's right. And also the online, I mean, COVID sort of showed us, didn't it, that the whole world transitioned very, very differently to this online space. And I know there's a lot of people who are potentially watching this now that think, oh, I didn't even know you could do a clinical hypnotherapy session online.
And it's actually so easy. All you got to do is click on my Zoom meeting or whatever we're doing.
Yep.
Join me and let's make some changes in your life.
That's right. And it's just hugely, hugely effective.
Yeah.
Yep.
And as you and I know, it's just so easy.
Yep. That's right. Once you learn this skill set, and anybody can learn it, that's the really interesting thing. People look at hypnotherapy and go, oh my God, that's going to be so hard to learn. And yes, there is a lot to learn, but if you learn it in a very structured step-by-step way, you can learn it quite quickly. And once you've got that set of skills, then the hypnotist that's inside of you just starts to come out and starts to evolve.
Yeah. And you and I would run a session differently because we're different people.
Yep.
But they would still be super effective. And I love the whole thing that each session is different. But also I love that I get to do it my way and you get to do it your way.
That's right.
That's just, and some people might not like me and might not vibe with me. That's okay. There's so many other beautiful therapists out there. And yeah, like you said, we just want to talk about hypnotherapy, work, do hypnosis and help people.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And that's the most important thing that you need to have If you want to learn hypnotherapy, you just need to want to be able to help people. That's it, really. If you're scared that you're not going to be able to learn the skill set, I'm telling you now, you'll be able to learn the skill set.
It's, as you said, there is a lot to learn, but that's like learning any new skill.
Correct.
You know, if I decided I wanted to go out and learn how to skateboard, that's going to take me probably longer than what it took me to learn how to hypnotize.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yep. And then when you're in a classroom with other students actually hypnotizing people one-on-one, you're going through that whole process. You're learning how to do it properly. You're gaining the confidence to be able to go out there and do it with other people.
And always in a safe and comfortable environment.
Yeah, that's right. Awesome. Was there anything else that you wanted to share about any other results maybe that your clients have had?
I think I probably wanted to talk a little bit about men's hypnosis.
Okay.
I predominantly work with females, just because that's who I'm attracting at the moment.
Yep.
But I just wanted to bring up for the men out there, particularly if you're listening, please come and give us a shot. Please. I love working with men. I love they just come in and they'll say, Sally, and they'll just say, blah, 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 blah. Can you help me? And I say, yes. So I really want men to start looking after their mental health, looking after themselves, prioritize themselves, because I think a lot of females are starting to, you know, look at themselves. What do I need to work on? And I love that. But I think let's get the men in too. Particularly, I live in the country, and I really want to start getting the men in too. And I really want them to start living their best life and knowing that they deserve that as well.
Yeah, I love that, Sally. That's awesome.
I just think it's so important. Everybody can benefit from hypnosis. Anyone. And I don't want them to think, oh, you know, I'm a man and you know, oh, you can't help me. Please let us help you.
Yep.
Man, woman, child, I don't care. Please, particularly the men. It's just going to help not only, you know, family units, whether you're single or not, but particularly happy dads, happy kids as well.
Yeah,
It's not just
that's
about
right.
So I really want men, please come and see me. Please give me a shot. I'd even love to do a men's group hypnosis program if I can get that up and running. I just think everybody can benefit from hypnosis.
Yep.
Everyone. And I really just want people, please just give us a shot. We just
That's
really
it.
want you.
Yeah, men don't have to be afraid of this. It's the exact same process as a female. There's no difference.
Oh, exactly right. And it's not talk therapy. You don't have to come
No.
and tell me about when I was 10 years old, this happened. I mean, if you want to tell me, you can, but you don't have to. You can just come in and say, Sally, I would love some help with some anxiety. Or whatever is upsetting you, you know, depression. There's so many men that are affected at the moment by anxiety, depression, the overwhelm of, you know, providing for the family. Or
That's right.
Please just give us a chance. We can really help you. And because there has been such a switch with mental health, I just want everybody to be able to benefit from what we do. And I'm sure some of the things, you know, as you know, things in hypnosis, some things can be a bit out there, but it's really not that scary. And I will never, ever make you do anything you can't do. I just think we need to get the whole of society. Let's bring everybody up and let's just allow everybody to be the best version of themselves.
That's right, because we've all got the same brain.
Exactly.
We've just all got different wiring in the way that we see the world. And a lot of that goes back to our childhood, as you know. You know, between the ages of 0 and 7, that's when this brain is being wired to become the adult that we are today.
Yeah. And there's no wrong or right.
No.
And even you and I who work on ourselves constantly, we're still always going to have stuff to work on.
That's right.
So I don't sit in my chair and claim that I'm perfect and, you know, I have no issues. Of course not. But I work on them almost every day, like I'm sure you do.
Yep.
Because we just want to, as showing up for our clients, we need to show up as ourselves, as our best versions as well.
Yep. Yeah, that's right. And then also with our academy, with the different graduates we've got around Australia and New Zealand, we've got quite a tight network there. So within ourselves as clinical hypnotherapists, if we need hypnotizing, then we've got a nice little group that we can go to and go, hey, I need some help with this.
Yeah. And the thing is, it's just a matter of reaching out.
That's it.
And please don't sit, I hate the fact that people are sitting at home miserable. Please just come see us.
That's it. You don't have to be. And that's what
No.
people need to realize.
Yeah.
Just
Yep.
because you're feeling miserable, just because you're feeling stuck, does not mean you need to stay that way. And is it going to be hard work for you to change? No, it is not.
And just the whole, because, the last few years have been rough for everyone. I'm never downplaying that. And I'm never downplaying, there are serious conditions, but we can help as well.
Yeah, that's right. And people just have to be aware. All you need to do to be able to be successful with this as a client is you just have to want a change in your life.
Yep.
That's it. You don't even have to understand or fully know what that change is. It's just, I'm feeling this way and I now want to feel this way. If that's all you want to tell us, we can help you get that change.
Yeah. Yeah. And let us play and have fun and help you.
Yeah, that's right. And it could be in as little as 4 sessions, Sally? Yep, 4 sessions, potentially one a week, potentially one a month, depending on what fits your schedule. But within 4 sessions, how you were feeling over here could be just completely gone and you're now feeling this way. It is just like a flip of a switch.
Yeah. And a lot of people, like I do have a few clients that, they'll send me a message and come and see me, every 2-3 months just for a top up.
Yep.
It'll be, oh, Sally, I'm, this little tiny thought pattern starting to come in, and I'll be like, come in quick, we'll get right on top of it. And all they'll need is that one little top up. And they're just like, oh, that was amazing. I feel awesome. And then they're off to go, back into the world.
That's it. It's like a physiotherapist when you pull a muscle and you have to go and see a physiotherapist. Hypnotherapy is exactly the same. You recognize something in your life that used to work for you that now no longer works for you. Maybe it's a fear, maybe it's a habit, maybe it's just a limiting belief around something you feel like you can't do.
Yeah. And we'll do the hard work. We'll help you dig deep and find out what that real core belief is. Is it I'm not enough? I'm not worthy. I've given all my power away. Whatever it is, we can help you identify that. And then we can build it back together so that you do feel you're enough. You do know that you can take your power back. We can build with that.
That's right. And that's the key right there, Sally, is it's a partnership. They partner with us, don't they?
Yep.
Yep, we do all the work through the session, but the client needs to partner with us to help us to get the change for them.
Yep. Just be willing and wanting a change, and just have trust that we can help you.
Yep, that's exactly right. So I will put the details at the bottom of this video of how people can get hold of you, Sally, if they're looking for help. But if you just share once more about how they can find you, do you have a website? Have you got social media? If you want to share those now.
I have social media, Sally Robson Hypnosis. I am in the process of building a website. I'm just not 100% there quite yet. But yeah, I will have a website up and going as well. And even if you just want to send me a question, even if you just want to reach out, please do so. And if you want to book an appointment, ping me a message and I will certainly set you up with that.
Yeah, perfect. I really appreciate you coming on today, Sally, and just sharing to just get hypnotherapy more out there to help people understand they don't need to be afraid of this. This can be something that can just be life-changing for them if they're just willing to just let go of the fear and just know that this will start to make them feel better.
I think my biggest thing is just give us a go. Just give us a go.
That's it. Yeah, I think the worst that can happen is nothing.
Exactly. And I think
how often does that happen though, where people experience nothing?
And what's the best that could happen?
Exactly.
Honestly.
Yep. And your clients, are the bulk of them, they've never been hypnotized before?
Majority of people that I associate with have not been hypnotized.
Yep.
I have had a few that have had negative experiences.
Okay.
for example, they've gone to and paid a lot of money and they've sat there with a cassette, or they've sat there listening to a CD.
Oh, wow.
And I'm just like, whoa, no, 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 no. Every session is personalized. Every session is dealing with me. Whoa. So yeah, I do have people that have that negative connotation that, oh, I'm just going to sit listening to a recording and, they're going to take all my money. And I'm like, whoa, no, 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 no. So yeah, I do think that in the past, people have had negative experiences, which does work against you and I.
Yep.
And I just want to know my sessions are fully personalized. It's just, unless it's a group session, which obviously it's group personalized.
Yep.
But, if you're in my chair talking to me, or if you're in a Zoom one-on-one, it's fully personalized for you. And it's all about you. There are no recordings, no CDs, no cassettes. I'm not going to dump you in my office and walk away and go and do washing or anything like that.
No.
So yeah, I do think that unfortunately some people do have that negative experience, which is really sad for you and I.
Yep.
But you and I are just trying to dispel all of these terrible experiences.
That's exactly right. And as an advanced diploma graduate of the Australian Academy of Hypnosis, you've been highly trained to be able to speak to the subconscious mind and to know exactly when someone's under hypnosis and exactly how to help people make those shifts and changes.
Yeah. And I am in no way having any, dodginess, doing anything wrong. No, 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 no. Never. Wouldn't even cross my mind. I just want to help.
So if someone's out there and they're looking for a clinical hypnotherapist, what would the advice you would give them around what they need to look out for when they're searching for a clinical hypnotherapist?
Mm-hmm. One, I would certainly be asking if the sessions are personalized. I would be asking them, Zoom or in person.
Yep.
Obviously, as you know, that depends on each client, also location. I would be asking them what the therapist specialty and passions are.
Yep.
And I would say the most important thing is you just need to be able to be open and wanting change.
Yep.
And I think also being able to, have a bit of, a connection with the therapist. So, some people will love me. Some people might think, oh, I don't know about her. And, I might be able to help hook them up with someone else. And that's okay. As you and I know, not everybody might love us, but that's okay.
That's
but
it.
I can still deliver and do what you need to do.
Yep. But sometimes knowing you've got that human to human connection in your gut, it feels right. That can be incredibly powerful for you, can't it? When you're looking for a hypnotherapist.
So powerful. And I'd also say, don't be afraid to do a FaceTime or a phone chat with me. I'm more than happy to do that. Hi, how are you? Particularly if they're a little bit nervous. I get it. And before I knew about hypnosis, I would have been a bit like, I'm more than happy to have a 15-minute phone chat so you can get to know me a little bit better. If particularly some clients do want to tell me a little bit about their past and their problems, more than happy to do that over the phone.
Yep.
No problem at all.
Yep.
And particularly if that makes them feel more comfortable with me, particularly if they are, feeling a bit vulnerable.
Yep.
Super happy to do that.
Awesome. So we're pretty much out of time, but I just wanted to touch just very last on your thoughts around in-person training to learn this skill set as opposed to the online stuff.
Yeah. I am obviously having a past working history in education. I personally don't think that you can go past in person in real life. Couple of reasons. I think you need to be able to connect with your teacher.
Yep.
In person. I think you need to be able to physically watch how the body and mind reacts during the teaching sessions. I think that you need to be able to practice on a real person who's not a family or friend.
Yep.
Because I think sometimes, as you know, we know too much or whatever. And I also think that the vibe that you get from mixing with people, from my training, I have 2 friends that I'm still in contact with. And I've made those friends from that training. So not only that, you get to meet people, you get to connect, and we're still close to this day. So even just, going and meeting new people who have similar interests and like minds. I think that also training in person, you can also learn when things stuff up.
Yep.
Which you're supposed to when you're learning. That's part
right.
of learning. That's how we learn. I personally wouldn't have got the same benefits out of an online course. I needed that person-to-person training. To me, worth every cent. Amazing.
Yep.
You learn so much. Yeah, I would recommend training in person. I don't think you're going to get the same benefits online personally.
You find it will affect your confidence, do you think? Because you haven't, yes, you've hypnotized someone online one-on-one, but you can't feel the energy. You can't necessarily see all the body moving. Maybe a foot moves and you don't notice that online.
Yeah. And you and I know the signs that we need to look for when a person is in hypnosis and our reactions.
Yep.
I personally wouldn't have picked that up online. And even like when you're doing a Zoom, I know what to look for now.
Yep.
But when I would have been doing my training, I would have had no idea.
Yep, that's exactly right. Because it's such a foreign thing that you learn when you first start off.
And also it's so overwhelming at the start in terms of there is so much to learn. You need the space in a classroom to just, okay, everyone else is feeling exactly the same.
That's right.
But we've all got it and we're all going to get there. And, the school's really good at explaining, yes, this is a lot, but you're going to be fine.
Yeah. Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much, Sally. Was there any last things that you wanted to share?
I just want to thank you for having me. And I also want to thank you for just allowing us to get hypnosis out there and really just, obviously I'm really passionate about it, and just letting me share my passion and joy about it. I just think we can't talk about it enough.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And that's why we're doing this. And that's why there'll be so many people from around Australia, around New Zealand that will be sharing their stories. You'll be able to connect with each and every person. Everybody's from a different walk of life, but everybody's able to learn this skill set and go out and help other people.
Exactly. And we all have something different to offer.
Correct. Yep. We're all just unique human beings like we're supposed to be.
Exactly.
So awesome, Sally. We'll look to get you on sort of in a few months' time and sort of do a bit of a catch up and see how things are going for you. But for anybody looking for help, if you're wanting to get in touch with Sally, at the bottom of this video, I'll put some details. And it's also Sally Robson Hypnosis. You can find her on Facebook or Instagram if you'd like to get some help. So I thank you all for watching today. See you, Sally.
Thank you.